What's going on, everybody? I am back with another video. This one going to be breaking down some SuperDraft NFL Super Bowl picks. Big contest coming up over there on SuperDraft. Excited to talk about it. And joining me in this one, I have two special guests, Kevin Blake Weldon and Jim Ginocchio. Lucky enough to have them take some time out of their schedule to join me on the channel, guys. We're going to be talking about all that SuperDraft Pro has to offer, the partner of Caesars Rewards, the future of DFS, some great opportunities, guys, and some great promotions going on during the Super Bowl. So excited to break that down with them. Before we do, though, just want to tell you, if you have not become a SuperDraft Pro member, you need to today. You can do so by clicking that link down below in the description, guys. And when you do, they're going to get access to all of these awesome promotions we're going to be talking about in this video. You can access these free contests, sign up for any of the SuperDraft Pro links, free and fun, basic, premium, elite, all of the packages today. Any of these that you see suiting, I would highly recommend you get the elite. It's the best value. That's currently the one that I have, but if you want to go with the cheaper one, I understand. And once again, you can only get into these exclusive contests by being referred by someone. So you can head on over here, you'll be referred by me, click that submit, and become a player or coach today, guys. Start your own home-based business for only a $40 cost. You can also just become a player and hop into these games. Going to be talking about that throughout the video, and also the big Super Draft competition over here for the Super Bowl, guys. $100,000 in guaranteed prizes, a $15 entry if you become a Super Draft Pro and you recruit someone and they win first place. You're also going to be able to win a share of the prize without even winning, guys. So sign up today, become a SuperDraft Pro member. If one of the people you recruit is an elite member, or sorry, if you are an elite member and they come in first, you will receive a 10% of the winnings that they win. So in this particular contest, it is going to be $25,000 the first. If you recruit someone, they come in first, guess what? You're going to get to take home $2,500, guys. So going to talk about all this and more in this video. Once again, I want to thank Kevin and Jim for joining me on this one, guys. Let's get into it. And we've got some really great Super Bowl promotions to bring to you guys today. So without further ado, Kevin, I'm going to kick it over to you. You want to just talk a little bit about this opportunity? Maybe I can pull up the memberships and talk about what we got going on at SuperDraft.
Yeah, heck yeah, Kyle. Glad to be here. Also really excited to have Jim Ginocchio with us. Jim's been a great friend of mine. Jim and I, partnered up with SuperDraft once we found out about it. Jim's a former sportscaster, huge Yankees fan, which you're going to love to hear. And just an all-around great guy that doesn't look a day over 60. I mean, look at that hair.
My PR director.
Yeah, but no, Kyle, we're really excited to be here. We're, of course, being sports fans, this is just right up our alley. Everybody knows how big daily fantasy sports is getting and sports betting. There's just so much in the works right now with SuperDraft. We are the official daily fantasy partner of Caesars Entertainment, which is what kind of got my attention. I figured, hey, man, if Caesars is involved with this company, it must be legit, So I checked it out here a few months ago. I invited my friend Jim Ginocchio to come take a look, and we just got really excited about what we found. Kyle, there's a lot of reasons. One, we love sports. We know a pretty good bit about sports. I grew up playing baseball, went to college on a pitching scholarship, hurt my arm. Then I got into country music. A lot of people know I went to Nashville, had a couple of top 40 hits in country music in the late 90s, probably before you were born. And then, of course, Jim Ginocchio has been a sportscaster for 30 plus years, worked for all the big networks, Turner Broadcasting, NBC Sports, Atlanta, just a great guy. But what we found is, as we've gotten a little bit older, Kyle, we wanted to find a way to do what we love to do instead of going out and working a job that we hated.
Right.
And we want to make a lot of money. So if you want to go make a lot of money, you want to do something that you love to do, that you don't dread getting up every morning and having to drive 2 hours in traffic here or there. So when we found out about the SuperDraft Pro, it's like a super affiliate program to help promote and market SuperDraft. It was like, I want to know more about that. And so what we do, Kyle, is we just promote for SuperDraft. We share the SuperDraft product. We encourage people to come play. SuperDraft is legal in all 50 states, unlike some of the other DFS platforms, because they have a subscription-based model, which will allow you to get in on a $19.95 subscription or a $50 or $100. And if you happen to live in one of the states like you do, where you can do paid entry, you can always make deposits or use your winnings and get into some of the bigger cash games. And it's just a lot of fun. But for those that want to promote and be a coach, get in the super affiliate program, you can make a residual income just by going out and inviting people to come play with you. We've got a really, really cool payout structure here for those that want to get involved. It's a lot of fun. And now that we've got this new winner match, This is really going to jumpstart this thing. And we're on the ground floor. So we're going to share a little bit more about that opportunity, but we're also here to talk about fun. We just really, really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you, Kyle. Glad you're on the team with us, bro.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And one thing I wanted to touch on that's been eye-opening for me is, I mean, I'm kind of a younger kid, so I've always had the fantasy sports growing up, all that fun stuff. I mean, I've been playing the daily fantasy sports for a long time. A lot of my audience on the channel, you know, the younger generation. So we've had access to it. But being a part of these SuperDraft meetings where we kind of get together, there's a lot of people, you know, dads, grandfathers, et cetera, that are a little bit older. They didn't even know this stuff existed. So you show them, you know, the live scoring on SuperDraft, and they're like, holy. And, you know, it's more of a subscription model, so they're not have to dump in hundreds of dollars a night. So that was what was really eye-opening for me, kind of getting that feedback from, you know, some older generations, and they are absolutely loving it. So I think some of the things that we kind of take for granted, the guys that have had, you know, all of these daily fantasy sports sites to play on growing up, other people, that was kind of eye-opening for me. You know, they're like, wow, this is awesome. I can track my players as the game's going on. So this isn't just for the young guys anymore. It's starting to open up. And that was one thing I just wanted to reflect on, you know, being part of the SuperDraft team. That was like, you know, this is really cool. You know, you can be talking to people. So one thing I just wanted to do real quick, we're going to talk about the games. We're going to talk about, you know, some picks, all that fun stuff, or as far as the Super Bowl, one game, the one big game. But
yeah,
I want to just go ahead and pull up the SuperDraft Pro options. So just kind of get people familiar with this model. I've been promoting this on the channel, trying to get people involved, kind of explaining what we have here. And essentially what, you know, they're offering is you get free contests throughout the entire month. So I know myself, I'm an elite member. They offer different tiers depending upon how serious you're getting about it. So I just wanted to kind of pull this up. Like I said, Kevin's the one that brought me on board. Really did a good job of explaining what we have here, and just kind of explain to the people what this is going to kind of offer. So we have it up on the screen, Kevin. If you want to just elaborate, Jim as well, you know, feel free to pitch in here. And then we can head on over to the lobby and kind of show them some of my elite subscriptions that I have access to today and I do every day.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So again, one of the things that I love about this is a person can predetermine, you know, at the beginning of the month or whenever they join, what they want, what level of interest they have. You know, for a person like myself that had never gotten involved in daily fantasy sports, I'd never played fantasy, which is crazy because I love sports, you know, but I'd never gotten into fantasy until I heard about this. And so, you know, there's a lot of people that will start off with that free subscription because it doesn't cost you anything, you know, and that way you have access to the site. You get access to one contest every day. The payouts are not much, but hey, it's free. I think first place pays like $10 or something. I don't know. But because I don't have that one, I got the elite. I went all in with the elite because I said, listen, if I'm going to do this, I know a little bit about sports. I know where to go to get great advice. That's how I found you, Kyle, is I was actually on YouTube looking for people to help me make my picks and help me to understand more about daily fantasy sports. You did such a great job. I'm like, I got to connect with that guy. So that's how I found you, Kyle. But with the different packages, you get more content. You get more entries into games each day. You get to do more. And guys, listen, here's the cool thing. SuperDraft is evolving. We're not just daily fantasy sports. A lot of you may love to do like sports book type bets, but maybe you live in a state that doesn't allow that. It's not legal yet. Well, with SuperDraft, you can. You can actually get in and make your prop bets, and you're playing with the currency inside SuperDraft, which is called Supercoin. And as your Supercoin balance increases, I mean, I hit a game one day, Kyle, here about 3 weeks ago. I put 7,500 coins on a game, and it was one of those parlay deals. I hit like all 10. I got all 10 answers correct, and I won 20x my bet. So I turned that 7,500 coins into 150,000 coins, but just like that. Didn't even really realize what I'd done. So for those that, of course, you're here because you love daily fantasy. We've got daily fantasy contests every day. Today we've got UFC fights. Tomorrow, I believe we'll have the Pro Bowl. We'll have the Super Bowl next weekend. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But these subscriptions will allow you to choose the level of entry that you're most comfortable with. And depending on which level you come in with, that's going to determine how much you get to do with the app and how much you can win. So it's a lot of fun. And for those of us like myself and Jim and you, Kyle, that want to become a coach, we build a street team. We're building a team of people that we know that love this. And as we start to build our team, we can make an override every month when they purchase their subscriptions. And you can also match when some of your players or some of your coaches take down that top prize, or even like with the Super Bowl, even the top 10, there's going to be a match opportunity for you guys to match a percentage of what they win. So the more you share, the more you can earn. We've got people making over $10,000 a month with SuperDraft right now. We've got other people that just come here. They just want to play and win what they can win. Mm-hmm. Whatever level of interest you have, we have something here for you.
Absolutely, yeah. And Jim, I just want to kick you in. I keep kicking it over to Kevin. I don't want to keep you out of the loop here. So, okay. What's your experience with the product? What would you have to say? Any closing thoughts there? And I have the coach screen up here. Actually, the link, you can find that down below in the description of this video, guys. If you want to sign up, you can become a coach, you can become a player. As Kevin says to me when he brought me on, this is what really sold me. You can start your own home-based business for $40 a year. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. You constantly see all these YouTubers say, click on my referral link. They're making commissions off that. That's all these YouTubers making money. So SuperDraft is giving an opportunity for, anyone and everyone to get involved here. That's kind of what I've been telling my audience. So Jim, kind of kicking your thoughts here.
Well, I love it because, I've been a part of fantasy sports before they even called it fantasy sports. We used to call it rotisserie sports years ago as a sportscaster.
Like rotisserie chicken?
Yeah, like rotisserie chicken, So you have to but back then what we did was at the network, we had a contest between the sportscasters, and that was our way of keeping up with all the athletes. The reason why we had to do that is because there was no internet. I mean, all you had were the books that were sent to you by the teams with all the information. And if you had to get any other information besides what was printed in the book before the season started, you had to call the team directly. So there was no internet. So our way of trying to keep up with all the athletes from all four major sports on top of Olympics and everything else was to have some type of fantasy league. And so at one point, if somebody's guy, let's say Dan Patrick's guy, scored a touchdown, we took an eye on that and said, oh, that's Dan's guy. Well, then we took some note of that. The reason why we had to do that was because all of us sportscasters in the beginning came from different cities, different towns. We knew about our own teams in our own city, but we didn't know so much about maybe like other teams in the other league, let's say AFC, NFC, right? It's hard to keep up with all that. So that's why we created the fantasy league, and that's why we did what we did. So that's why I've been playing for over 30 years I've been playing fantasy sports, but now it's gotten to a whole new level where now you can compete against your friends and you can see where they are live across the country, around the world. I mean, this is the fun part about it. And then on top of that, you can have contests. I've got a group of guys, 10, 12 guys that I went to high school with that I'm in touch with on a continuous basis. So we're setting up a league so we can compete against each other like we did when we were teenagers. So it's a lot of fun. You'll be able to create the games, figure out, who figures first, second, third. We're going to do that for the Super Bowl coming up. I mean, it's just so much fun to bring back all your friends and the guys that you played sports with. And, the girls love it too. They had volleyball, they had softball. So everybody loves to compete. And that's what this is all about. Competing, having fun, and building a business and making money at the same time. You can't beat it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's been my experience with it. And like I said, I'm just trying to share this with as many people. I really wanted to bring you guys on. You were the ones that talked me into jumping on this bandwagon. So I thank you for that for sure. It's been a great experience. And like I said, guys, if you haven't signed up already, this is exclusive contest. You can only get this to SuperDraft Pro. Yep. There's multiple levels. There's something for everyone. There's a free and fun. You don't have to pay a single dime. All you have to do is go through that link down below in the description. You get part of these exclusive contests. It's really that simple. And I think that's a great kind of summary of what we're on here.
Let me throw something in real quick, Kyle, too. Also, on this checkout screen you're seeing here, you do see the coach box lit up in green. If you're not ready to be a coach yet, if you just want to come try it out, click on the player box. It doesn't cost you $40 a year. The only time you're going to pay that $40 a year is if you want to be a coach and you want to start building a team and you want to start getting paid every month from SuperDraft. All right? $40 a year to have your own business, it's a freaking no-brainer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, I've been freaking crushing it. And Natalie, like, she never really cared too much about sports. She said, you keep bringing home that kind of bacon, and I'll freaking go put on a cheerleader outfit. Just that jersey, but I like to expand that to cheerleader outfit.
We'll let it slide.
It's a lot of fun, Kyle. And, as a player, again, you have that free and fun if you just want to come try it out. And then you can always upgrade because you'll get your own login to My SuperDraft Pro where you can actually upgrade or downgrade at any time. You can learn more about the product, more about the different games. We've actually got a slot tournament that started today. And we're going to have another slot tournament on Super Bowl weekend. So there's so much more here than just fantasy sports. So you may be thinking, well, Kevin, I got a few buddies, but I don't know if the business would be good for me. Listen, I promise you, your grandma would like to get in these slot tournaments. Your granddad would like to get into sports betting. All right, there is so much more here to offer. And by just simply referring it, listen, and we're not going out selling energy drinks or weight loss products or skincare or CBD or crypto education. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but guys, I love sports. And for $100 a month, I get to get in here and play to my heart's content. I mean, Kyle, last month I won over $2,000. Now I do a little bit more. I'm like you. I've kind of grown in my awareness and knowledge of DFS, and so I've been getting into a few more of these bigger cash games. But with my subscription alone, I was always easily doubling, tripling my monthly, spend on my package. So just a lot of fun, something here for everybody.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the other thing. I want to go ahead and share the actual SuperDraft lobby. So for those of you that don't know, it's really easily integrated. It's all going to show up right up on your SuperDraft dashboard when you log into your account. So it's right on the front screen. There's no, with SuperDraft Pro, it gets you access to these exclusive contests. But as far as actual platform, it's all easy to use. It's all right there. They have the IO on the website portion here. I've got my account up here. Definitely going to be putting some funds in there for the Super Bowl. So we'll be adding to that balance before the big game kicks off. That's for sure. But as you can see, as I'm going along here, these are my subscription featured content. So I'm an elite member, so I'm going to get access to all of these every day. So if you're an elite member, you get access to the premium as well. And the basic, any tier above that you go with, you're going to get access to all of these free content. So I've been definitely capitalizing on hopping into these. And with all that being said, guys, I don't know about you, but I'm about ready to talk about the Super Bowl. Are you guys ready for it?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So yeah, I'm going to open up the we got the multiplier and the the salaries up, all that fun stuff here on SuperDraft. Different bit of a format though, not exactly a salary format like some other websites you guys might play on. SuperDraft is definitely unique in the multiplier metric, so it's not going to be the same old thing you're playing on all these other websites. They've switched it up. They have a multiplier. You got the champion, the co-champion, the super flex, 1, 2, 3, 4 super flexes for the Super Bowl. And looking at the payout structure here, they're giving out $100,000 in prizes for this big contest, guys. And right now, there's only 311 entries out of the 7,667. For those of you that have been watching my content for quite some time, I talk about these new DFS websites when they're on the rise. If this thing's not going to fill, you need to be one of the people that's filling it up. Because if there's overlay or for some reason this thing doesn't fill, SuperDraft's offering $100,000 in guaranteed prizes. So it doesn't matter if there's 500 people that enter this thing. It doesn't matter if this thing fills up. It's $100,000 guaranteed. So you got to hop in there now. Especially if this thing does not fill, you're going to get great value. You don't get this kind of value at other sites across the industry right now. So I always promote that to my audience. So I just want to make that known. But
hey, Kyle, let me throw something at you real quick that's really important. With this game right here, with this red zone game, $25,000 is going to go to the winner. A few months ago, one of the coaches that I brought to SuperDraft came in first place in one of these red zone games. And it was a $50,000 first place finish for him. Yeah. They would have implemented back then what they have implemented for Super Bowl now. I'd be putting a $5,000 thank you in my bank. So with the Super Bowl game, with this red zone game, Kyle, because I referred you here and because I referred Jim here, if either one of you guys were to win that $25K first place, I'm going to get a 10% thank you because I shared it with you. Yep. That is another one of the benefits of being a promoter or a coach with SuperDraft. So you don't think that $40 annual fee is worth it? I mean, absolutely. So, and I've probably got about 75 people that I've shared SuperDraft with over the last few months. If any single one of those people pays that $15 entry, gets in and wins that first place, I got 75 chances to win $2,500. So I'm increasing my odds by choosing to become a super affiliate or a coach with SuperDraft, pay that $40, get my own link that I can share, and share this with other people. Guys, this is absolutely a no-brainer and fun. And one more thing, and I don't want to get too far off the subject, but we can create our own private contest. And I do have a private Super Bowl contest that I've set up with 5 of my buddies. We're all throwing a $100 entry fee in there. So you can do that too. You can put a $10,000 entry fee if you got buddies that's got that kind of bankroll, which right now I don't. But I'm about to when you guys get that first place.
Absolutely. So yeah, man, I'm excited. That's one thing. I mean, you just touched on it, but people don't understand this, and I just want to reiterate and make sure it's known. So with that SuperDraft Pro, like you said, if you're an elite member, they're doing it based upon tiers. So if you're an elite member and someone else you recruit in the Super Bowl comes in first place, like Kevin was saying, you're going to get 10% of their winnings, which in this big contest, that's $25,000. So that's $2,500 without you even winning.
Yep.
So if you have a friend or someone else that's more educated on daily fantasy sports, I would highly encourage you. Click on that link down below in the description. Get yourself signed up for SuperDraft Pro. Recruit them onto your team. Get them to get that elite package, and you're gonna get 10%. The more people you can do, the better. You're gonna increase your odds. So that's the kind of stuff we're talking about right now.
And Kyle, think about that. I mean, you got FanDuel, you got DraftKings. These guys don't do that stuff. All of that goes to the company in New York, and they say they keep all the money. Here,
they're not keeping all the money, Jim. They're spending about $100 million a month advertising.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
So what SuperDraft is doing is putting that into a rewards program or a thank you bonus program for those of us who are going out doing that promoting. Hey, right. One more thing too. So when you get that subscription, you're also getting your own subscription contest, like you showed just a minute, Kyle. Those are free with your subscription that you get each month. What we did talk about is with the Super Bowl, with that elite game in the Super Bowl, the payout. If you have a coach that finishes in the top 10 and you're an elite member, you're going to match 100% of their payout for the Super Bowl for the top 10 places, not just the top place. So in addition to the cash entry games, your subscription contest for the Super Bowl is going to have a big payout. I don't know what that payout is yet. They haven't announced it. But what I do know is this. The top 10 people that finish in that game, if any of those people are people that I brought, I'm going to match 100% of their first place, second place, third place, all the way down to 10th place winning.
That's huge.
That's another incentive for me to want to go out and share and promote. Because I got a lot of guys, listen, I got a lot of buddies that are way better at fantasy than I am. And Kyle, you're one of them. And I'm just really excited that you saw this because we are on the ground floor. Guys, this thing is going to continue to grow. We're going to go international. And we're going to have people that are going to be making – they're going to be replacing their income from the job that they hate right now, doing something that they love. So that's why we're all here. Back to you, Kyle. Sorry, bro.
No worries, man. I just want to talk about this game. I'm going to kick it over to Jim. Just talk about, what are you looking to in this game? What are some of your top picks? Do you have any at the top of mind? Do you want to go, player by player here and just kind of elaborate as we go along? What are you thinking?
Well, first of all, you got two former number one picks as quarterback to start the list, right? So you got Stafford and Burrow are two number one picks. So if there's ever a game where I think you want to pick both quarterbacks, I think this is it. I think this is going to be an air show. I think that it's going to be a high scoring game, even though you got two great defenses. When I say great, I use that term loosely because the Rams finished 17th on defense in the league. The Bengals finished 18th in the league. When you look at these quarterbacks can really air it out. They've got some great wide receivers to catch the ball. The number one wide receiver in the game, as far as I'm concerned, is Cooper Kupp with Los Angeles. I'll stop for a minute. I noticed you got Joe Burrow on the screen. When you look at Burrow's got some great receivers as well, Higgins and Boyd, and of course Chase. And Chase was his college teammate at LSU. This Super Bowl has a heavy LSU Georgia slant to it because with Chase and Burrow coming from LSU, and then of course you got Stafford and you got Sony Michel from Georgia and a couple of other defensive players from Georgia on the Rams. It's really going to be turning into one of those things. So down here in the Southeast, a lot of LSU fans and a lot of Georgia fans are looking at these players. In regards to key players, it's interesting. We always like to lean with running backs in games because running backs are usually good, starting running backs, right? So you got Cam Akers with Los Angeles. You got Sony Michel with Los Angeles. Two key picks. However, these teams don't run well against each other. Their passing game is number one. So that's why I say Stafford, Higgins, Boyd, and Chase. But also, there's something really key that happened throughout the regular season. Not only did we have a lot of surprises in regards to scores and upsets, etc., but tight ends stole the show when it came to prime time. Usually on Monday nights and Thursday night games, for some reason, tight ends can light it up. So you got the tight end for Cincinnati, Uzoma, and there you got Higbee on the screen. So we got Higbee on the screen for Los Angeles, and then you've got Higbee's backup, which is Blanton. So if Higbee is hurt and doesn't play, Blanton at a higher multiple becomes a very good guy to pick. Now, in regards to the Cincinnati Bengals, Uzoma is your top tight end. There you see him right there. But again, he got hurt in the championship game. So now the backup, I believe, is Sample. And so if Sample gets in and he starts to make catches, well, now you've got a huge multiplier in Sample as your backup tight end. So that's what we really have to look at. My picks, I'm thinking when you think about the Rams and the Bengals, okay, some weird things are going on here, right? The Rams are playing in their home stadium, but some strange things are happening beforehand. The Rams are having to go in the visitors' locker room because they're the visiting team. So that's going to be weird for them. For the Bengals, they were going to have a different locker room no matter what, okay? When you look at the pressure of who's got more pressure, the Rams or the Bengals, Stafford or Burrow? Because Stafford was picked up with 3 picks, including 2 first-rounders, the pressure is on Stafford. So the guy that is really going into this in his second year out of LSU with no pressure whatsoever and feeling good is Cool Joe, as they've nicknamed him, because they're thinking he's like a Joe Namath, and of course following Joe Montana in a Super Bowl as well. And so now they're thinking, you know what? Burrow might have the upper hand here because he's got absolutely no pressure whatsoever in his second year in the NFL. At 25 years old, he's going to become possibly one of the winningest quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl at the age of 25. Only 2 other quarterbacks have done it at 23 and 24. Of course, that was Mahomes was one of those guys who he just got done beating in Kansas City. So that's my early look at the Super Bowl. And but let me tell you, the defenses will play a big role because they've made some heavy noise in the championship games, and that's how they came up with victories. Kev, what do you think?
Let me jump in real quick and say something too. And I know there's probably a lot of people that are asking about it. Kyle, we'll touch on a little bit more, but it's that multiplier. And the multiplier is very interesting because you've got the championship mode and the co-championship mode. They're getting bonus points. So you could actually have the same exact lineup of players that Kyle has and Jim has and I have. But if you choose different people in that champion and co-champion mode, you're going to score more or less points depending on who you have. Say, for example, if you think that Cooper Kupp is going to go off for 158 yards and 2 touchdowns, then you can go look in the if you go to the go back to the details. Contest details, and people want to know how you get points. Most of you do, but if you go to the rules, it'll show you how those players score those fantasy points. Right. So if Cooper Kupp goes off for 150 and 2 touchdowns and has got 11 catches, each of those stats are going to create fantasy points. All right. Now, whatever his multiplier is, you're going to multiply those points times that multiplier. By putting Cooper Kupp in your championship spot, he's going to get 50% bonus on his normal multiplier. So if his normal multiplier is a 1x, but you put him in the championship spot, he's now going to get 1.5 times those points. So if he scored 20 points, 1.5 times 20 now gives you 30. Okay. On the other hand, if you picked other players, but you still had him in your lineup and he only had a 1x because you put him down at your flex, super flex 3, super flex 4, he's only getting 1x. Those 20 points are now only worth 20 points. So you could have the exact same player, but one lineup is going to award you more fantasy points than the other. And again, this is something different from the other platforms out there because we do have the multipliers, kind of like a handicap in golf. You know, if you've got a player that's maybe a second stringer, he might be a 2.6x multiplier. But if you think that there is a chance, and this is why so many of the DFS experts, they get in, they put these optimized lineups in. They put in 15, 20, 30, sometimes 100 different combinations of players. Just these scenarios happens. If one of those tight ends goes down and the backup tight end comes in and he's, say, a 2.2 multiplier, but now you put him in that number 1 spot and it's 50% on top of that, now he's a 3.4 or 3.5x. 2 or 3 catches and a touchdown, and this guy could potentially score you more fantasy points than Stafford, if he goes off for 310 and 3 touchdowns. So again, there is a learning curve. There is some strategy here. There are some things that you need to think about. And that's another thing that makes this so freaking exciting. I love this multiplier as opposed to a salary cap because I want to go pick who I want. And Jim, you touched on this a second ago. If you want to win, do not let your emotions. I don't care if it's LSU in Georgia or if it's Salt Lake City Junior High School. I don't care where they come from. I'm not going to be loyal to a player because he came from my college if the guy stinks it up. All right. So again, I hear what you're saying, and that's why people like Kyle and those of you who are watching this channel watch this because you want to get an edge up over the average guy who's going on his emotions. Oh, so-and-so played for my high school in 1999. I'm going to pick him. And he sits the bench the whole game, but you picked him. I'm loyal to my buddy, and I got 8 points, and the winner got 298. All right, so just saying, if you want to win, that's why you're here. That's why you listen to Kyle. Kyle knows what he's talking about. He knows who to bring in. I may not add a whole lot of value, but Janakio will, Kyle will. Listen, this is fun. We love what we got our hands on here.
But Kev, as soon as you say that, don't go with anybody from your college or a favorite player. At the same time, in this game, we have seen it throughout the season where players that you never thought would even score a point had the wildest game of the day, and somebody picked them and they won a huge pot.
You're exactly right.
That's why you don't know.
That's why you listen to Kyle. That's why you put in optimized lineups. But on the other side of the token, that is the thing that's kept so many people out of daily fantasy sports is because they go up against those guys like Kyle, all the Sharks, they put those optimized lineups. What about the average guy that just wants to come have fun? That's why SuperDraft is so freaking awesome because in the subscription contest, you get to put in one lineup. Now, with that being said, there is an exception for the Super Bowl. You can put in 3 different lineups in the Super Bowl game. And that's in the subscription side. So another exciting piece to the puzzle here with why you want to get involved with SuperDraft Pro. 3 lineups for the Super Bowl in those package games.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I just wanted to touch on, Jim made a lot of good points on this game. Some of my picks as far as, the overall, if you watch my NFL content throughout the season, oftentimes I'm going over offensive line matchups, run block advantage, pass block advantage, all that fun stuff. But the fact of the matter is with the Super Bowl, it's one game. Typically we're dealing with 9-game slates or whatever. It's one game here. So being different is going to be important to be able to, we're talking about this contest. Like I said, once again, people that watch me, I talk about this stuff all the time, but we have 7,667 people in this contest. If you go out there and you make a lineup with Stafford, Kupp, Burrow, Mixon,
Chase,
like that's cute and all, but you're probably not going to take home that first place prize alone. So my head is I'm always trying to get contrarian. So some of the guys, Jim was talking about pressure, more so from like an outside source, media source kind of feel, which I heard what you were saying. But one thing I'm concerned about is the actual pressure that Joe Burrow is going to be dealing with because this Cincinnati offensive line has not been good. And one thing I think we can kind of take advantage of there is maybe getting a little bit contrarian with some check down options. So, Jamar Chase, typically a downfield option. He's, a lot of upside as far as running that high seam route down the sideline. But I do think that there's going to be a game plan in place to kind of shut him down. Obviously, best weapon on the Cincinnati Bengals. So for me, an approach could be to be going with some of these other options in the Cincinnati passing game. So I'm going to be looking to go with a T. Higgins, a Tyler Boyd. I got to be honest, I'm probably just going to go ahead and fade Jamar Chase. It's not fun saying that. It's scary. The guy could probably go out there and have a huge game, but I know his ownership is going to be way higher, and I know that most likely the Rams are going to be getting a lot of pressure on Mr. Burrow. So I'm going to be looking to capitalize on some check down passes. One thing I want to add too, Kyle, real quick, as you're talking about the pressure on the quarterback, Burrow has been sacked 12 times this postseason. That's third most ever in the NFL playoffs. Yeah, he's been getting swarmed like crazy. So I think there's really going to be limited time to get that ball out of his hand. And, targeting some of these slot receivers, short route receivers could really pay off for you. And then not to mention, like you mentioned, Drew Sample, the backup tight end. He has a 3.3x multiplier on SuperDraft. All it's going to take really for him to pay off that salary, maybe a 10-yard touchdown catch in the red zone, And,
Wow.
and you're looking really pretty with that. There's only so many touchdowns in the Super Bowl. So, I mean,
Right.
you talk about a guy that's sliding into a role that he hasn't been on all season long, a 3.3x multiplier. Makes a lot of sense to me. I think you made a great point on Blanton as well. Very similar. We saw him get really involved in the pass game last time out. 5 targets from a guy with a 3.25x multiplier. I'll take that.
And that's because Higbee got hurt in the championship game, so they brought him in.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's stuff. I think you were right top of mind with that you should be, maybe some of these people that are more casual, that aren't quite accustomed to the DFS landscape yet, that aren't watching this video, aren't quite thinking like that. They're loading up on the Cups, the Jamar Chases of the world. And don't get me wrong, they're great plays. But these are kind of just some things that I wanted to bring up to kind of get different. And then the last guy I would mention, that we talked about it with checkdowns, Samaje Perine. I mean, they're not going to bring him in, and I always butcher his name, so I apologize for that. But they're not going to bring him in for a lot of downs, but he is the pass-catching back in this team. Joe Mixon isn't exactly that pass-catching back. And we saw him break out a big one last game. Maybe that brings his ownership up. He took that screen yard to the house, but I highly doubt it. And we could see some similar results in this one. So I just wanted to kind of throw in some game theory, ways to get different. You can also play the kickers over here on SuperDraft. If you want to play the route that this is going to be a low-scoring game, I think we're getting real dicey there. If you're going that route,
there's a chance.
I think we're getting real dicey if we're going that route. Honestly, I don't think that's too likely.
Although you say that, but think about all but one game in the playoffs was a 3-point difference. So you got to think about, these kickers could make the difference.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen several Super Bowls in the past that have ended with a kick.
Yeah, absolutely. And 2.95x multiplier for one, a 2.85 for the other. So,
and McPherson for Cincinnati is perfect through the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolute stud. There's a lot of stories about him on that. I don't know if you heard that one of him mic'd up saying, "Oh my goodness, we're going to the championship game," right before he kicked it. And then he comes out, he hit like a 40-yarder or something. So that's that guy's got a personality for sure.
And one thing you got to remember too is we also have history here in the head coaches. You got a 36-year-old and a 38-year-old. That's the first time you've ever had 2 30-year-old coaches in a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. And just one more crazy piece of trivia. This is the year of the tiger, according to the Chinese New Year.
Yeah, I'm
just saying. So somebody said that the other day, like, you know what? I'm going all in. I'm betting the farm on the Bengals. I'm going to do like Patrick Mack down in Houston and put $4.5 million or whatever he did on the Bengals. So
yeah, it's crazy stuff.
Listen, I'm 55 years old. In this NFL season, this is unlike any NFL season I've ever witnessed in my life. Some of the games, the playoff games, that Raiders and Chargers game that could have ended in a tie, which would have kept Pittsburgh home, which I was kind of anyway. And all these playoff games. I was in Tampa Bay with that Tampa Bay 49ers game. Oh my God, that place. We're at Ferg Sports Bar. This place was electric. There were probably 4,000 Tampa Bay fans that when they started clawing their way back, this place escalated to this unbelievable energy and noise level. And just like that, I snuffed out. And the owner of that place just watched probably $1 million worth of business over the next couple of weeks go out the window. So there has been an amazing, amazing season this year. I'm expecting to see the same again in the Super Bowl. I don't even know my heart's at. I would love to see Stafford get his championship. I think the guy's a class act, a real talent. I believe he's going to bring it. And then you got Joe Burrow. Man, what a talent he is too. So I don't have an emotional favorite for the game. I just want to see another one of those games like we've seen throughout this season. I want to see an epic Super Bowl game that maybe gets won in overtime.
And think about this, Kev, because you mentioned that you were 29 years old. And so the first 54 Super Bowls have never been won by a home team on their home field. Last year, Tom Brady did it with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. This year could be 2 in a row for Stafford and the Rams on their home field, even though they are the visiting team for the Super Bowl. It's going to be interesting. One other stat I got to throw in because of Brady, right? Because, I mean, we've now heard the last of Brady. However, I'm sure we're going to hear a lot of his records during the Super Bowl. Stafford has 41 passing touchdowns here in the postseason. for the whole year, including the postseason. Brady had 43, and he's already done. So it's just amazing what Brady has done. I just had to mention a quick thing on Brady, because to think about how he has started, he was 22 years in the league. He played 20 years as a starting quarterback, and he went to 10 Super Bowls. There will never be anybody that goes 50% of the time as a starting quarterback to the Super Bowl ever again. Never.
Wow. Amazing.
All right. Yeah, guys. And I just wanted to round this thing off. So I'm thinking before we let the people go, each of us, Jim, I'll kick it over to you first, but let's just try to give the people, some people that you're thinking of going with in the champion spot, in the co-champion spot for the Super Bowl. You get the plus 50% for the champion, you get the plus 25% for the co-champion. We talked about some game theory. I have the championship selected right now, so the actual multipliers. And if I go over to the co-champion, you will see them change on screen. So, the co-champion Cup is getting 1.25x. The champion Cup's getting 1.5x. So I just want to leave the people with some picks here. So what are you thinking for going, maybe game theory-wise, or your top picks for that champion and that co-champion spot?
Well, I think the champion spot is the number one receiver in the history of the NFL with 1,965 yards, and that's Cooper Kupp. I just think that he's going to be the game changer. It's interesting because, a lot of people key in on Kupp, and yet he still comes up with 10, 12 catches a game, and he still ends up with a score somehow, some way. I just believe in that guy. I have all year long, and I would think that's my strong champion.
All right, great. Kevin?
Yeah, if I had to just pick one, again, if my life was depending on it, I could only pick one, I would probably go with Kupp too. But again, because like you said, Kyle, we know that that's going to be the favorite. Probably a lot of people are going to be doing it. I would like to, see my name in the top half of the leaderboard anyway. All right. So and I know this might sound crazy, but I'm going to put Higgins in my championship spot. I just got a sneaky feeling that something's going to happen with Higgins. And that's, with that multiplier, with that kind of talent, again, like you said, I think they're going to be keying in on Jamar Chase a lot more. I think it's going to open up some options for Higgins. That's just that will definitely be in one of my lineups. I don't know if it'll be in my one. When actually I get 3 lineups for the Super Bowl, so he will be.
All right, great. Yeah, like you guys said, if I'm at, having to pick one, it's got to be Kupp. The guy's target share has been unreal throughout the entire season. It doesn't matter the game. Even when Robert Woods was healthy, we saw Stafford just preferring to go to Kupp in the red zone, downfield. It didn't matter. So, that's a no-brainer. Just to give you guys a third option, we talked about Kupp. We talked about going with some T. Higgins. One guy for me, it's kind of a fairly more obvious play. I guess it's the second option for Stafford, but it's a simple pivot off from Kupp, and that's just going to his second option in Odell Beckham Jr.
Yes. Thank you for saying that, Kyle.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not sure if people are going to go here. Let's say even if Kupp has a great game, let's say he goes out there, puts up 10 receptions, 100 yards or something like that, but they get down in the red zone, they're all over him, swarming him, and that opens up some room for Odell. You're talking about a 2.35x multiplier guy that if people aren't going to be prioritizing him, you get way more out of it from a multiplier aspect. And then
it's Odell Beckham Jr. Have you seen that guy catch a ball?
Yeah.
Oh, he still has it. He still has it. And in a game like this, I believe the guy is going to be so amped up. I believe we're going to see some more of that superhuman type stuff that we've come to expect from Odell Beckham Jr. So, again, great. Glad you brought that up, Kyle.
And the reason why I love Odell Beckham Jr. is because it's L.A. Odell is flashy. He loves attention. This is his first Super Bowl. And the thing is that when you notice, when Beckham plays his best, Stafford, he looks to target him early because Beckham smiles. Beckham is positive with his teammates. Beckham is a great leader when he's happy. And when he's happy, everybody else is going to be happy. So I would look for Stafford to target Beckham early to say, I'm not going after Kupp. I'm going after Beckham so that you guys get my 2-against-1 on Kupp off. And that's what he's going to do. He's going to go to Beckham until Beckham starts catching too many balls. Then they're going to have to start zeroing in on Beckham. I think Beckham is going to be a key guy in this game, Kevin and Kyle. I think that's a great pick.
Absolutely. And then you factor in that there's the possibility of no Higbee. Jefferson's dealing with some banged up stuff. So All that stuff. I just think it's a great pivot. It's natural left a cup. Any target that goes Odell way is not going Cup's way. So then you add in that multiplier boost. So I'm really like going with that for the Super Bowl guys. And I think that's all from us, guys. If you have anything to add, feel free to. But biggest thing is just
one thing right here at the end, Kyle. Again, for those of you that are here with us, this is fun. We love this. How would you like to go to your job every day and get to do this? This is what I do, and I love it. I mean, I don't have a YouTube channel. Well, I do, but it's not like Kyle's. I go to Kyle. Jim Giannarchio, we love what we're doing. We get to talk sports all day, every day, much to Natalie's dismay. But this is fun. and to know that I can take this and turn this into a career. Now, listen, not everybody's going to do that. But if you're a guy out there that loves and you're looking for an opportunity to replace your income, guys, you've got to get with Kyle. You're going to be on our team. You're going to get to be surrounded by this type of information at the click of a mouse, or you pick up the phone. We work together. We play together. We create private contests. We talk strategies. We have a blast with this. And if you're looking for something like that can put some extra money in your pocket, you got to get with Kyle. This is the real deal, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Right now, we're on the ground floor.
Yep. Absolutely, guys. So sign up using that link down below in the description. Get in before the Super Bowl. Get as many friends as you can to sign up for that subscription. Like we said, you're going to get a share of that top prize if one of them can cash in. So really appreciate Jim and Kevin, you guys joining me today. First host or guest on the channel, I should say. So have fun having you guys on, little interaction. And that's all from us, guys. Get those SuperDraft entries in for the Super Bowl. And we are out of here.
Take care, guys.
Awesome.